Morrowind, playing so much Elder Scrolls 4 as me thinking about going back and playing Morrowind, but it takes a few tries and effort to get back into the thing. Though it can slowly sort of start reconditioning it back into you if you've already played it before. Because you have a bunch of adverse reactions to the stuff you're saying. I mean, it looks fine to me right now. It's starting to look good again, but that's not how it started. It started looking like it was pretty bad. And I have to remember what it looked like a little bit ago. But then one way to make the game fun to yourself is it almost looks like there's a big fence grid or something on my screen. That doesn't look right. That's probably not going to show up. We'll see. Maybe it's something wrong with the TV. Something's wrong with the video. Oh well. And then there's this part, because it happens just following the road. I guess you'd probably be reacting in shock still. It's like, oh, it's nighttime, better rest so I can see better. Oh wait, I hit heal, I need to rest for 8 hours. Or more. Yeah, right now it's taking me back to original Xbox days. And middle school. This is how middle school was. But it wasn't just how middle school was, this is how high school was for some people. You know, when, original Xbox was still new for them, and then also this is what's going on in college or after work. But then it's like, yeah, you can see this being middle school, but then it's also like a middle schooler probably shouldn't do this. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I'm playing as an orc, and I already made this character in a previous video that you probably didn't see. And, he actually has the basic stuff chosen, so he can sort of get by with all the stuff he has. And then he's also got all the armor on, and a lot of the other characters I've been making, and for some reason you're making a bunch of characters in this game, and they all suck. And then, yeah, you find this door, Zane Sipilu, and, when you just start playing the game, this might be the first exciting part in the game. But since I've played the game before, there's almost no reason to even go in here. It's like, oh hey, you're walking and this guy will attack you and you'll fight him. You might just be looking for guys to fight so you can keep on getting better at your skill. Oh yeah, it's slowly starting to affect me. Oh, wait. For this video, I was also going to open up Morrowind on my computer and do sort of a comparison of what it looks like on the computer. But this video is already running a little bit long. Look at this apprentice probe. That's also one of the areas where that was kind of weird. I was using the word probe. Oh no, is she gonna hit me? I lucked out on that one. I can't even believe it's the slightest amount of fun, and while you're saying that, other people watching or that you're showing the game to are going to argue with you. They're not going to believe you, and they're going to argue with you that no, it's not the slightest amounts of fun. It sucks. And maybe, you know, they're not even going to say it's fun for you, but then it's not fun for them to watch you do this. But it's like, hey, just try this. It's the slightest amount of fun and, you know, like hours of entertainment. Yeah, this game really had some mixed reviews and opinions because it was all, a lot of people reacted to it with a lot of hostility. Yeah, they think this game is disgusting. This is full on just disgusting. But, you know, there's been a lot more video games since this one. And then the Elder Scrolls series has continued. But, you know, people that knew that you did this one, you know, when Oblivion came out, they're like, oh no, an Elder Scrolls game. Yeah, that's gonna be all he's going to do. Yeah, a lot of harsh comments. And yeah, but then Skyrim was twice as popular as Oblivion, so then it was finally starting to get normal, or even then Oblivion was still pretty popular. And then I knew a few people that played Morrowind that got name dropped a little bit. But that also probably annoyed people that people keep on talking about the game. And this is what you're talking about. You know, it's like a wall of negativity. But some die-hard fans will say that this was the best one. And some other fans will say Daggerfall was the best. Right, I don't know, maybe they're just being difficult. Or that's what they actually believe. Yeah, look at this axe, long blade, medium armor, heavy armor, blunt weapon, light armor, block, spear, athletics, marksman. So those are just some skills to get me by while I get used to this game again, and that's also another crushing difficulty, the idea that you're gonna play this game and start, you know, understanding it, building up its, you know, methods and mechanics in your mind, and then do a different character and try and do a better playthrough, because you have to understand the gameplay mechanics for all the skills so that you know which skills you want for your major and minor skills. And that's another thing they're gonna laugh at, is the word skill. They're like, no, this game is not a skill. And yeah, you'll spend time thinking about character creation and stuff and what you're gonna do in the game. It's really odd like that. And then people that do like it sometimes just worship the thing. But, I mean, it looks just ridiculous. I can't even believe you're doing this thing right now. And it used to be like, oh wow, look at the water. Now look at how slow you're moving, you got this walking speed, but then, you know, that makes the world seem larger, and that's also sort of how fast you do move in real life. And then there are ways of moving faster, and I'm showing going down the road to the first location, Balmora, but you had a couple options of how to get to Balmora, though you didn't realize it right away. There was the Silt Strider that was outside of town, and that also kind of seems like a shh moment, you know, like, you know, hushing you, like, let them wander around aimlessly. It's like, no, you almost need to keep on explaining every little hidden secret and stuff, and then you're talking yourself hoarse, explaining all this stuff. And then if someone's talking about it to you, maybe their voice is making the game seem better. That's what it takes to enjoy the thing. And you put together your combined knowledge to understand how to play the game. These are some mud crabs. But it's definitely not worth going back and trying it out the first time if you don't already know all the secrets, because you don't have time to just be wandering around in this place figuring this stuff out. You're probably not even interested in this thing at all. And this is probably more for returning players, but then I can also see some kids, getting the game because they're fans of the series and are capable of going back at their young age and playing this game. And then also if they're extra competitive and they believe that they're good at one of the other titles, the Elder Scrolls games, then you might believe that you're better at the series the more of these games you play, but then that isn't that good, because then you would also need to play Arena and Daggerfall as well, which you probably don't want to do, and in that sense Arena and Daggerfall are holding down the series a little bit. You'll just have to not think that way. And I should know better than to talk to this guy, because this guy keeps on showing up This is where you would come out if you had used the jump scrolls to jump from where you found that guy's body. If you tried out those scrolls or read his journal, you could have jumped all the way over here and land. You're gonna die when you hit the ground, which is also like shh, let them figure it out for themselves. You're gonna die when you hit the ground unless you land in water, then you're gonna be fine. Yeah, and this game has you doing all this ridiculous stuff to try and work on your skills, so maybe you need an in-flight movie. You can watch cartoons and stuff and try and watch TV while playing the game, because the game might not be that interesting by itself. But yeah, we'll see how far we get in it. But I guess it was one of the really happy times as a child, 12, 13, and 14, and then 14 was probably the last time I played the game. Maybe 15. But I was playing Morrowind right before getting an Xbox 360. And I was really just slam dunking the thing, doing my ultimate playthrough. And yeah, you basically have to look stuff up on the internet to figure all this stuff out. And then that's part of the gameplay, is looking at the strategy guide on the internet, or now there is YouTube videos. So now you can watch other people's YouTube videos and search what they've put up. Okay, look at this. I push start, I'm going to the controls. Like looking at the stuff. Let's see here. What am I looking for? Oh, here we go. Always use best attack. I've got the difficulty all the way turned down and still dangerous. And now I'm putting always use best attack on, because he was like trying to jab with this axe. And as a kid, when the game came out, you sort of project your intelligence on this game's graphics engine, and you think that the game is a lot more of a reality than it actually is, in the sense that you think that these NPCs are actually alive, and you think they have thoughts. Yeah, you think these things have thoughts and opinions and stuff. which is, you know, they're just, you know, little puppets. They're just a little puppet with a dialogue box. They don't actually think. They're not AIs. But then as I, hey, you know that for sure? And another thing, this is another game where you can project your imagination over this stuff and imagine in your own mind a better looking game. You know, you can try and make it photoreal and just sort of use these graphics as a jumping off point. Yeah, it's like a novel. Try and imagine over everything. And then, yeah, you can get some weird feelings going. It's definitely a unique experience, but you'll recommend the game so much and rave about it, and then it's so commonly not liked. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to take that guy, but if you just swing away real fast and jump him. I had the always use best attack on, which is worth mentioning. Always use best attack. Now I'm over encumbered. Here we go. And this is just sort of, oh, you probably like it when it rains too. You're like, oh wow, look, it has a weather engine. It's raining. Yeah, you like all these subtle little things about it the first time. Like, oh wow, look at the water, look at the clouds. Oh hey, there's stuff growing. And I can pick the stuff too. Oh yeah, you guys have really outdone yourself this time. It's like an entire world. You got this map. You always be checking the map. You're using a compass for the first time. And you'll get really confused in the game too. And the game's all about following directions. Oh wait, I think my face might be over the little mini-map. And that's a mini-map and not a compass. But it's still sort of a compass because the arrow that you are is a compass. And it's pointing north, east, south, and west. But it's not actually a compass though. And you just sort of have to figure everything out, which is unpleasant, and they don't do this type of gameplay anymore because it's unpleasant and you can just be lost and wasting time. That's how it seems now. Because in future games, there are waypoints to everything. I just want to follow the waypoint. And we want real life to get like that too. Like, why isn't the waypoint working? And real life is getting like that a little bit with GPS. And then there are structures in the game like this, and these are like Daedric structures. Yeah, Daedric shrines or something. Or I think that might be something else. Yeah, and you'll probably think that was cool that you just saw that in that building was even something evil, and you can even kind of feel an evil vibe. And it's also weird that there are just like giant unfriendly worms or caterpillars, whatever this is, but that's probably not a good part of the game because that just looks like something gross. It's also kind of demeaning to fight. And then, like, what the hell is this thing? Yeah, this isn't like other Elder Scrolls games. They don't have these weird, gross-looking creatures that are completely unreal. Yeah, yes, Morrowind did have a bunch of weird creatures. Now, here's some more weird creatures. You know, those, like, dinosaurs? Got like dinosaur cattle. Yeah, I guess in Oblivion and Skyrim they went more mainstream with their creatures. The cat goatees. Yeah, Morrowind also has like giant mushrooms for trees. He's like, well, that might not be good. But then look at this, Morrowind has these flying pterodactyl things. And I don't think Oblivion had any flying creatures, but then Skyrim had the dragons. And I think they might even talk about dragons in some of the books in this game. That's also something you're probably not going to do as an adult, is read all these books you can find and try and put together this game's fake universe. So like, why would you be that into this stuff? And just doing some speed reading and just like little impulses will move you around in the game. And here's another thing, is where you're like climbing over this hill. That's kind of weird. There's a bunch of hills in the game that make it difficult to get to different areas. And you sort of just try and climb up them. And then look at this. Yeah, this was going off in my imagination right here after that last guy I ran into. Like when I came across some people camped out, it's like I'm running up on them. And I'm like, are you guys okay with me? He's like, okay, well then I'm gonna keep on going this way. Because if you guys weren't okay with me, I was going to kill you. It's like you're a homeless person just wandering around in the wild. And you keep on getting attacked by bugs and worms and stuff. And yeah, my character, he's a orc. And I just have the rusty metal armor on him and this axe. And this is sort of how it goes at first, and this is probably why people don't like the game. And there's the Silt Strider, and then think about that, that's more disgusting, weird shit. You got this crazy, weird, giant bug thing that you can ride, and it's supposed to be like the bus. It's like, oh my god, what was even going on in their mind when they made this game and thought that shit was cool? I mean, it's still fine to me because I'm used to it. But I'm like looking at it now, and I can see how, you know, some people might just look at that and think that's gross. And here's Balmora, and this plaza, like, this actually looks pretty good. I like this. This is really quaint. It's got a warm feeling. I like this stuff. Yeah, this is one of the coolest parts in the game, this city. Because this might be how far you get almost. There's the Mages Guild. This is the Fighters Guild. And look at the architecture. And, yeah, this is also where people go ballistic in a way, and they'll try and play the game as a serial killer, and you only sort of do this in Morrowind, where, you know, new players will just start breaking into people's houses and killing them, and then taking their stuff and selling it to the local traders. And yeah, that's pretty icy. It's not really a good way to play the game, but only Morrowind you could do that in. They made it so the difference between Morrowind and Oblivion is that in other games you start just knocking people unconscious. But not everyone, just important people will only get knocked unconscious. And that was the Corner Club back there. That was where the Thieves Guild is. And I remember it was really difficult to learn all these things. When I first started playing this game, I was still sort of learning how to read, and I could barely read any of these words or retain anything it was saying. So it's still sort of a educational game with all the reading it has you do. And also sort of teaching you speed reading. And how you're sort of seeing everything they say, and how you're not interested in what they say. And this guy, he was saying that it looks like I accidentally sold the package that I was given that I was supposed to deliver to him. So now I've completely failed the main quest and can't continue. But that's okay, because this character was just sort of a test character anyways. And yeah, you can have a lot of fun in this part of the game. But then here's another thing. Let's look for some place to jump off of. And it's like, well, wait, what are you talking about? And it's like, I already see a good place, or maybe that's a good place to jump off of. I'm trying to jump off this roof, and it's almost kind of like a joke, like you failed the main mission, so now you're going to try and commit suicide. And the only game that you commit suicide in is DayZ. Sometimes you just commit suicide in that game to try and get a different character or a different starting location, and that's pretty gross, but you know, that's sort of just like letting you have a gross experience. Like I thought I was gonna. What you're trying to do when you jump off of things is you're trying to get yourself damaged a little bit, so that you can, by taking falling damage, that's the best way to increase your acrobatics. And if you keep on jumping off of things, then your jump will improve, and yeah, that's just sort of alright. Your jump can actually be really cool in this game if you also enhance it with magic. But this game just, sometimes you'll just be jumping like that, just trying to increase your acrobatics. And that's also something that's really lame about this game. Yeah, that just looks stupid, and they don't have that in Skyrim. You just go jumping around, and that's fun for a kid to do, to just be jumping all the time. But then that's the acrobatics increased to 6. But then it's not one of your major or minor skills, so it's not helping you level up. So, oh well, not on this character. But yeah, you'll just be doing that. It's like you're practicing parkour or something. And you'll do that in other games where they do it better, because there's no ledge grabbing in this game. Hey, look at all these items. It's got sort of a cool inventory with so many different items, though you think that looks cool because it also looks really stupid and bad, but then it does go back to looking cool. You just sort of have to adjust to it. Yeah, this actually almost has one of the best inventories in an Elder Scrolls game. But yeah, you can grab any object and sell it to traders in this, and they don't do that as much in Oblivion and Skyrim or ESO, because you know, people don't like how the game is promoting stealing or simulating thievery. You know, there's the Thieves Guild, and you'll steal everything in this game. Candles, pillows. And then look, I just sold stuff to that trader, and then I killed him so that I can take my stuff back, or what he had in his inventory. And then I'm checking my bounty, and I only got a bounty of 40 for doing that. Yeah, look at all the great stuff I got from him, and it's like really rewarding me a lot doing that, because it gave me all these really expensive items that I can take and then go and sell. And that was a lot of quick money, fast and easy. That was pretty dark and disturbing what you just did. And look, now I can sleep in his bed. And it's basically like this is my house now. And yeah, that's pretty dark and disturbing. Then you can go over here and sell the stuff to the pawnbroker. The game has you going to pawn shops. Yeah, that's simulating some bad behaviors.
Speak, traveler.
Barter. Oh, and here's where you can get your first alchemical stuff. And yeah, this is where people learned how to do alchemy the first time, which you also do in other Elder Scrolls games. And you probably don't start doing alchemy right away, but the Mages Guild will sort of start teaching you about it, but it takes a while to actually get good at it. But then, you know, that's how you make the most money in the game, is just always having a bunch of potions to sell. There we go, retorts, motor and pedestal. Oh, and then look over here, there's hammer and prongs, and then, you know, you can do armorer. But I think I always went to someone to have my stuff repaired and never bothered repairing my equipment on my own, because I would make so much money, I would just have it done for me. So you have to wonder, like, is that a worthwhile skill? And this is what the gameplay is like. And somehow this is fun. Ha 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 ha. And the game has some lighting effects. But this game has even more spells than Oblivion, and they're easier to get access to. It's easier to just buy a bunch of spells from people. But then spells don't really look that good until Skyrim, or they still looked good in Oblivion at the time. But then, you know, they sort of don't hold up too well, or are you supposed to just become a mage right away? It's like, oh no, Elder Scrolls is becoming fun again. I hope you don't try and get good at these games. Ha ha ha. Or you can't even be sure. It's like, am I good at something if I'm good at Elder Scrolls games? It's like, oh yeah, I just needed to keep on leveling up my skills to 100 over and over again. I have more characters and stuff. Yeah, I've got so many playthroughs of that game. Hardy har har. Yeah, and this is where you also start picking flowers and making potions. But here I'm seeing if an exploit still works. I'm going from Balmora to Caldera, and I'm talking to this creeper. That's a scamp. And that's how you get a bunch of starter gold. And on my perfect playthrough, I'll probably do a time lapse of doing this long starter gold glitch to get a whole bunch of gold. You know, and how many characters are you gonna do little things in before you make your perfect character? Or it's like, yeah, that's where this video game does not seem that good. That's what my character looks like right now. But even though the game is slightly fun, it's still really long and drawn out, and when you record the thing, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't seem like a really good video of gameplay. But I was amazed by how much time felt like it was passing. But is that what you're trying to do, is make a time pass quicker? And yeah, you'll probably get like 200 or 300 hours out of this game. And you'll think that was a lot, but now people play video games for longer. And I just put in a code. There are codes for the game that you need to use on your health, mana, and fatigue bars. And I'll make it so that they're constantly regenerating, but only one at a time. And then there are glitches you're supposed to use. Yeah, some of the spells, if you put Soultrap on the spell, it'll make it so that it is permanent. But I was trying that at the end of the video, and it wasn't working for some reason. But maybe it's because my magic is so bad. I don't know. It doesn't really matter a whole lot either way. And then here's Caldera up here. But it does something to your mind doing this stuff. Gorak Manor. Caldera, Gorak Manor. Yeah, this doesn't look so bad. Then again, I don't know, this is almost brutal going back and doing this. And here's the Scamp, Barter. And this is the trader. He has like the most gold any trader has, and he'll buy anything. And he'll even buy gold. So what you do is you keep on buying, you keep on selling gold, and he gives you the same amount of gold back. And you keep on doing that, and then if you rest for 24 hours, he gets his gold back, and you keep on trading with him, and it'll be like an infinite loop, and maybe that'll make your mercantilism go up, but then look at how much mercantilism I'm doing, and it's not going up. But then, well, what the glitch is you kill this guy after you've done that so many times, and he keeps all the gold that you've given him. So then he just has a huge pinata, and you can get like 200k gold or however much you want just from doing this over and over again. But then that still can be like an hour of you sitting here doing this every time you make a character. It's like, oh yeah, you're gonna do this thing again. For some reason my weapon wasn't hurting him. Last time, I did it with a different character right before doing this one, and I beat him to death with my hands. See, 13,000? I just got 13,000 gold. That's probably the most gold you've ever had in this game, unless you got good at alchemy. And you know, that's how pointless being a serial killer was in the game, killing people and taking their stuff and selling it to traders. But maybe you should try that a little bit just to see how it feels on one character, because it feels pretty weird, and then it'll make the game just sort of more fun and immersive because of how weird of a feeling that was. Guild of Mages.
Make it.
And then yeah, you can just start buying spells. And that, yeah, I think I want feather and stuff. Because feather makes it so that if you like permanently feather yourself, then that'll help you carry more stuff in your inventory. But it seemed like, I mean, I wasn't able to get the glitch to work this time, but people haven't reported it broken. But I mean, as long as you have that gold exploit with the scamp, the creeper, to get you started. Yeah, that gold will get you started, and then maybe you need to just start doing the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild, and yeah, start learning alchemy. It's a really sort of boring and drawn out thing, and then once you have all this gold coming in, you're probably also going to you're going to need to do training, figure out where all the trainers are, and train your skills instead of actually doing them, because you have money for it now. And oh, and then I'm not sure, but I think this works in this one, where you can make a spell where it drains a skill and you can cast it on yourself, and then that will make training cheaper. I'm not sure, though. I'll have to see about that. That'll be something to test out. And then yeah, that's all this game is just like cheating and then being allowed to do stuff that's bad that you normally wouldn't be allowed to do. Yeah, you got all these different spells. And then levitate, it has levitate in this one. And then you're going to want to get levitate and enchant it on, you know, an item so that you can just put the item on and then be flying. But then why wouldn't you also want to keep on casting it on yourself? Because it's probably going to be more effective if you keep on casting it on yourself. Oh well, we'll see how far we get on this stuff, if it's even worth doing still. And here I'm trying to do the feather glitch, and that's another thing, is people also had a problem with you doing cheats or glitches, like you're doing something bad just from cheating at a video game, and it's something like, you know, as if it's not cool. Then they'll also just have a problem with video games in general, and then they'll have a problem with this game. So yeah, I've got Feather Self, and then Soultrap Target. But then the thing didn't seem to work. I try it and it doesn't work, and I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, or maybe it doesn't work anymore. I mean, it's just maybe, I mean, if you look at it, well. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell what I'm doing wrong. Alright, that should have worked, but I can't tell. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything from casting it more times. And maybe other people can't tell what you're doing either. No, my inventory, my carrying weight isn't going down. I should probably end the video right here. Yeah, and that was my mysticism just went up to 6. Right, so you can see it's like you're gonna be at this for a long time. Just doing really mediocre gameplay. That's how a lot of people are gonna feel about that. I figure the next thing I might do is show how to become a werewolf. Or now we need to figure out if these glitches are working. Whoops. Now we need to see if that drain skill thing works. And see about the trainers. And then as soon as you figure out which glitches work, then you're probably just gonna make a new character and do that stuff again. And then it's gonna be, you know, having your laptop or cell phone next to you and trying to always be looking up what you're supposed to be doing for the missions and stuff. And they're gonna send you on some really stupid fetch missions. But yeah, you know, it was a really great video game for its time, in some people's opinion. Alright, do we just stop right here? Everyone made it inside this room, inside the Mages Guild. I'm trying to put in the Magicka cheat. And putting in cheats is like a type of gameplay, and it feels just the same as putting in codes in Grand Theft Auto, where it's just a slightly fun to put in a code. I keep on doing really quick bumper movements, cheating. And then every time you open up your menu, you have to put the code in again. So you can see how you might just be casting spells over and over again, trying to get your skill good, and you might be watching a cartoon or something while doing that. And then it's just however far you get in the game, and then maybe you make another character and you have to start doing all that stuff again. Yeah, well, it used to be one of my favorite video games. Yeah, now it's not looking too great. Does not seem to be working what I'm trying to do. But you definitely learned a few tricks. And these loading screens. And that fog seemed acceptable back then, but I guess you just have to sort of get used to it. It doesn't look that good. And then if you do this for a prolonged amount of time, the music will start getting to you. It's like the thing is coming out of the TV.
Why walk when you can run?
And this is back at the starting village, and it's like, oh, that's how easy it was to go from this place to Balmora. You just had to take that big bug thing, that bus. And this is where you get Jack of all trades, and if that Soultrap glitch works, then you can use Jack of all trades to make spells that enhance your physical ability scores, like your strength and intelligence, and yeah, you can make those really high. And this spell's just Fortify Luck, and luck is just one of your stats. So yeah, you can just have completely outrageous stats and be like jumping really high or doing massive damage or having tons of magicka. That's only if we can get this glitch to work. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to train up your skills a bunch. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, that's where this video is going to end.